verse 32. I'll give you some time to write down some points. Then I will use very minimal minutes, so that we can break on time. We are timekeepers. Daniel chapter 11 verses 32. The book of Daniel chapter 11 verses 32. There is no problem. Go to the context, then open, check, know which page. Go, take your time, no worry. It doesn't mean that when you go back there you don't know the Bible. You know it. Yes, go there, confirm. If you are at Daniel, it will be good, we know. Chapter 11 verses 32. We want to hear the story of a one man, very young at age, coming from the land of Hebrew, origin of Israel, went in exile, taken in captivity, so that they could train the Babylonian young people the skills that they had acquired from Israel. One of the men who was very wise and much skilled in wisdom, knowledge, and with the power of God upon his life. He was a man who could interpret dream, see vision, and walk with the power of the Lord. His life he lived one time and spent a whole night in the lion's den, but they harmed him not, because the presence of the Lord was with him. Are we there? Yeah. Verses 32, it says, those who do wickedly against the covenant, he shall corrupt with flattery. But the people who know their God shall be strong and carry out great exploits. Those who know their God, they will carry out great thing and do exploits. May we have your seats, please. May God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for wonderful reception and receptive hearts. I one time experienced what I've experienced here when we went with Anne to Kenya Alliance Girls and boys. They just border each other by boundary. The other side is girls, this side is boys. And I was reminding Anne in the car that, do you remember what the kind of reception that we got in Kenya Alliance High School? You know, when you love God, you'll go places. You people, you normally hear Alliance on TV, right? And when you are selecting the type of high school you would go, I believe some of you opted to choose Alliance Girls and Alliance Boys, right? And God wanted you to be here, not that you did not qualify to be in Alliance. You qualified to be Alliance, but he needed that Alliance material to be here so that you can be the pioneer of this place. So you are not here by accident. You are here by a reason of pioneering Lumbwa Secondary School. So God allowed you to be here for a purpose and with a reason. And behind that reason, that is why he allowed us to meet. Thank you. And so we want to talk on those who know their God. Those who know their God, they will do exploits. That's the topic or message or text as we write it. Those who knows their God, they will do exploits. What is exploit? Those who knows their God, they will do exploits. What is exploit? Those who knows their God, they will do exploits. Exploits. They are those heroic things that a person, by the ability that God has given them, they are able to attain. Exploit. They are things that are heroic. Those who are given strength and ability by God, they are able to attain heroic things. Heroic things. What is heroic things? Heroic things are things that will be in memory of anybody who will come across. Heroic things, they are things that we will embrace in our society. Heroic things, they are things that when we see them, we remember that person. Heroic things, they are things that are very adored. Heroic things, they are things that we can respect and they can be recognized. Those who knows this, raised in the land of Israel, because he was an Israelite from the tribe of Hebrew. He was trained, these people are trained, those by God's grace, as you continue to grow up. One day you will get to Israel. Or one day you will come across the article about Israel history. One of very adored history in the world is Israel's history. Everybody, whether Christian or Muslim, you will have information about Israelites' history. They have such a wonderful culture. They respect their culture. That even if you are an Israelite kid, a kid that is 5 and below, and you are born in Kenya, they will train you Israelite culture, not Kenyan culture. That is how much they value their culture. So, and everybody on earth during those days, around 400 AD, they wished that their nation would have to be taught a lifestyle and a culture of Israel, so that they can be excellent people or a nation when it comes to an excellent standard. So, there happened to be a certain kingdom called Babylonian kingdom. They went and captured Daniel, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. The purpose was not to harm them, but the purpose was to borrow their skill, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And they came to train the Babylonian citizens. And basically they came to train young men like you. Because men carries generation. So they came to train like you. Because you are too strong, you can defend your country. When we read about young people or young men in the Bible, it refers young people, people with energy, people with strength. Okay? So anybody who desires to do exploits, behind that person there is strength, there is knowledge, there is power, there is ability, and there is skill. You would have written that. And having said about behind every young person who desires to do exploit, there is power, there is knowledge, there is strength, there is wisdom, there is skill. There are 3 things that we want to talk on a very short moment. But I want to give you first so that you can write for your own benefits. These 3 ideas or ideals, they are knowing God. Number 1, we will talk on knowing God. If you want to do exploit, you have to know the source of the exploit. We say that that one who desires to do exploit should be stronger. Where do you obtain or gain the strength? You gain the strength to perform exploits from the God. God is the strongest. That we lean on him and we gain the strength. Number 2, you must be strong. You must be strong for you to do exploit. You cannot do strong when you are weak. I normally call them mumu people. That's not English word. Please, Mumu is Igbo language from Nigeria. Yes. So don't write in composition that he said Mumu. Okay? Mumu people is a person who does not have a stand. Sometimes it's lukewarm, sometimes it's warmer. They are unpredicted. Okay? So a person who desires to do exploit must be strong. And you got the strength from knowing God. Number 3 and the last one. You must do exploit when you know God, when you are strong. The last thing, you must do exploit. It's a must. Remember to underline or quote, must do exploit. Now, having written that, it's enough for today. What is that you found yourself in this particular institution that you may achieve in next 10 years? Close your book, please. There's no other point. That one is enough for today, to carry home and carry for the rest of the year. Now give me my ears, not your ears. Give me my ears, because you are carrying my ears. Let me yours, please. Allow me those ears to be mine. Let me, please. They are now mine. They are not yours. So your work is to hear and absorb it in there. Right? When you came here, you came to pursue certain thing. And that thing that you came to pursue, it is godly thing. God put that one in your heart. Because he had intention for you to become exploit. Why and how? Because you know that God. So the question here, do you know your God? Do you know your God? We all know that other than the creator of heaven and earth, other than the maker of heaven and earth, we all know that besides God who is in heaven, the one you cannot tell his look and appearance, the one who does not have form or image, okay? The one who is omnipresent. Right now he's with us, but we can't see him. Right now when we live here, he will still be in this school and he will follow you to where you are heading. That is the person I'm talking about. He is omnipresent. He is omniscient. He's the King of kings. He ruled before this kingdom called Kenya came. This Kamba kingdom came. Before it came, there was a king and he's still a king above it. Before you were created, he says in Jeremiah 3, that he knew you even in your mother's womb. How are you looking? Can you imagine that kafiota? How does it look like? We all know it, right? But can you imagine this person knew you? Before you were called that name, you are writing on that book, he called you by that name. Do you know that? That is the person I'm talking about. He had assurance that when he allocates you and when you locate this place and you come here, he knew that you will do exploit in your community, in your school, in your family. He was so sure. That is why he called you that name that you have. He allowed your parent to get the wisdom and the knowledge to name you that name, because he knew behind that name you will do exploit. Why? Because you will know him. The question, do you know that God? Do you know that God? If you know that God, the Bible say, Daniel write and say, those who does wicked thing, they shall flutter around in their words and in their saying. They will flutter around in the society. They will receive flutter things because they do not know their God. They are living a life of wickedness. They are living a corrupt life. They are practicing and exercising a corrupt character and behavior, and therefore they will flutter around everything that they do. They will not achieve, they will not succeed because they do not know the one who helps them to become exploiters. But those who knows their God, Daniel say, but those who knows their God, they shall do exploit. And I love this quote. It say that they will do exploit and they will enjoy the fruits of their labor in the land of the living. When you do exploit here in Lumbwa, it is here in Lumbwa you will come to build your first floor house. Amen. Did you hear me? Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Are you sure? How do you feel when you enter in the house, you don't go on ground floor? You are going to the balcony to see what is behind the house. You feel you're in London. But you are still in Kenya, by the way. You've not left Kenya. How do you feel when you start to drive around this road? I was telling the other day that this place has a good network, but now this road is not useful. And that is the truth. Like you'll stay some hours before you see the car passing, and you wonder why they built this road. Because God knew you will do exploit. Amen. That is why He assigned someone to build the road. In next 6 years, those who are informed for right now, in next 6 years, that means you've covered your degree 3.5 years. Then you have like 2 years for your interns. Then the half the year you must be driving. Amen. Your first salary you should be driving. Yes. You should not tamak. Don't worry, they are saying there is no job. Kuna kazi mingi bwana. Wewe ungejua yenye kazi imejaa huku nje, hazina wa kufanya, ungesoma na bidii uende uajiriwe ama uandike mtu. Those who knows their God, they will do. What is exploit? Heroic thing. When you employ people, isn't that heroic? Isn't that heroic? When you are running your own company, you are the boss, you choose the time to wake up. Is when you know the best duvet on earth. Is when you know the best mattress on earth. Okay? When you have your own company running smooth, you have like 20 employees, you're only receiving calls of, should we bank this check or should we withdraw this check? Should we transfer this in which account? It is you to decide which account. You do not just have one single account. Come on. If you focus in knowing your God, you cannot achieve those things that I'm mentioning if you do not know your God. You will not get them unless you know your God. The Bible says in Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 6 that, hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one. Love him with all your heart, your soul. Love him with all your mind and your strength. When you know your God, you will love him with all your being. And when you love him with all your being, hear me somebody, you will do exploit. Why? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You will not be worried about the economy that is collapsing. You have the answer and the solution and the cure to this economy, because I can see well-trained economists here, well-planners here who can secure this economy. If only you choose to do exploit, and therefore you can do exploit, because I can do all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Are we together? Yes. Are we together? Yes. Can we stand on our feet? Who desires to do exploits? To do exploit is to do something heroic.